Hey guys, it's John with ReelBlue Custom Rods, and today I'm going to do a video on the Threadmaster 1. It's a premium one-part rod finish like you see here, again by Threadmaster. And what I'm going to do, I've already laid down this thread as you can see. So I have a regular nylon thread, a metallic thread, and then an NCP thread. And what I want to do is really a couple of things. One, I want to see how this Threadmaster 1 works with these three different types of thread, how it penetrates, any bubbles, how it cures, and all of that other stuff. Here's some things to know about Threadmaster 1, and that's why I'm very excited to do this video, is because some of the things that it claims. So first of all, it's a non-yellowing, it has non-yellowing UV inhibitors, right? So that's going to protect the color of your threads, and it's also going to keep your finish from turning yellow. It's going to keep it that nice clear look to it. It's also, Threadmaster claims that it's tougher than your regular rod finish. It only takes one coat. It's more flexible, and it has easy water cleanup if you make a mistake or you're cleaning your brushes or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. So a couple of things you need to understand. Again, this is Threadmaster 1. It's a premium one-part rod finish, which means there's no mixing, there's no stirring, there's none of that stuff. So I can go right from the bottle, or I can go right into like a tray or a cup, and then I can apply this finish to my rod. So again, no mixing, no shaking or anything like that, no stirring. So I'm just going to open the bottle and then apply the finish. The ideal room temperature, and I think this is probably one of the most important things to understand, because of this, Threadmaster 1 coat, they claim that the ideal temperature when you're applying this to your rods and your thread wraps, you want the room to be between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, a small little 4-ounce bottle, and we're going to go ahead and get started on applying it. So the first thing I want to do, I just want to remove this piece of tape that I use to help get a straight edge. And if you've never done that before, look, pro tip right there, apply a piece of tape, masking tape to your blank. Helps give you a straight edge when you're laying your thread down next to that. The next thing that I'm going to do is I am not going to dip my brush into my finish. That's probably one of the worst things that you can do. Just taking something off of your wrap, dipping it in there, or if you have any oil or anything like that that's on your bristle brushes, you put that back into your finish, and it could put some particles or pieces of thread or something like that in your finish. So I always use this and pour it out into a little tray that I can use to work with. Now you can see it's very milky, kind of thick, but it runs pretty easy. I think that's enough for right now. Let me go ahead and clean that up. So you can see here, it's kind of thick a little bit. You can see kind of the consistency of it here. It kind of dribbles in a little bit and stuff, but so very, very thick, very milky looking and white. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some on my brush, and I'm going to apply it to my rod and start laying this down on top of my thread wraps. Again, no mixing required. This is right out of the bottle. And so I'm just laying this on. Should be soaking up a little bit here more in those nylon threads. Now we're going to transition over to some metallic threads. All right. And so while I'm doing this, why don't you guys let me know down in the comments block what finish, what brand of finish that you like to use. The UB, are you a flex coat, Threadmaster, what type of rod finish do you like to use? And secondly, let me know if you've ever used this the one coat finish by Threadmaster. Let me know if you used it and what you think of it. So I'm just applying this, and really, the reason why I wanted to do this video is one, I found the product, and I thought it was too good to be true. I'm like, oh man, a one-part finish, this has got to be interesting. And then I read the reviews, and the reviews were not that good. I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to get it. But what I decided to do was to get it, make the purchase, and then experiment and make this video with you guys, and we can see how this stuff comes out. Because I'm very, very interested to see how this is going to pan out. So I'm just kind of making sure I get over my edge here. All right. Now all I'm doing is just taking the excess off, if you will. And then what I'll do is I get this laid out evenly. Then I'm going to come back this way. Just trying to go, both ends here. All right. All right, guys, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and let me smooth this out a little bit right here, a little bit more. All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had enough finish covering those threads. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on the dryer, and we're going to let this go ahead and spin around and dry and cure up, and then I will circle back with you guys, and we will take a look and see what the first coat or what at least one coat of this looks like on here. And a couple things I want to talk about before I do that is, again, you can notice there is like no bubbles inside of this. But what I do notice is as this finish is penetrating the thread, it's creating what look like a little bit of bubbles, or what a popped bubble would create after it pops. So I'm just going through and kind of moving that out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on the dryer, and then we'll come back and take a look at it once this first coat, or possibly the only coat, we'll see, once this coat sets up. All right, be right back. Okay, guys, so the first coat has been applied and has dried. It's been 24 hours. I just wanted to make sure I got it nice and dry. As you can see, the thread basically soaked up all of that first coat of finish. And I was surprised that there really is only a couple of bubbles that created, but it looked like they kind of, almost popped. I just got them off right there, 2 of them. But so you can see that this thread basically has soaked up all the finish. Now, the label says that you can wait 3 hours between coats. Again, I wanted to go the full 24 hours just to make sure I was good to go. But it does say wait at least 3 hours between coats. It also says that the first coat, you want to apply it thin to where it just soaks up all of the thread soaks up all of the finish. And then you want to take off any excess as we did when we applied it. And then on the second or subsequent coats, you can go ahead and do some buildup with those. So meaning thicker coats. So that again is the first coat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a second coat. This time I poured a little bit inside a plastic cup instead of a metal cup. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start applying the finish. And I think I will do this one just a little thicker. I'm just kind of doing my ends first. And now for a, complete, set time or a complete hard cure time is 72 hours with this product. So we will see how that looks at the 72-hour mark after the last coat. But just getting this second coat applied here. And then what we'll do, we'll start spreading this around. Now, here is, if you have bubbles, so once you apply this finish, if you have any bubbles, you want to use a straw and just basically blow through a small straw where the bubbles are at to get rid of them, or use a toothpick. Do not use heat, as heat has no effect. So no lighter, no heat gun, no, alcohol torch. You just want to use a straw with, by blowing on the bubbles to get them to pop, and or using a toothpick. Again, I'm just going on here, trying to apply this. Just trying to make sure the coat is even, if you will. All right. So I think we're getting there. I think that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the second coat, get this on the dryer, get it spinning around so it can set up. And then we'll come back and take a look at it and see what it looks like once it's dry. Okay, guys, be right back. Okay, guys, so now it's been 3 hours. So what I want to do, I want to go off of what it says on the label. So the first, after the first coat, I waited 24 hours for a drying time for the second coat. And this one says wait 3 hours between coats. So for this third coat, which it still needs, you can see, we can kind of see some threads there a little bit, but it looks way better than it did after the first coat, but it does need a third coat. But before I do that, I just want to check and see. And you know what? After 3 hours, that's pretty dry, not tacky at all. So I'm going to go ahead, again, a little bit here in a plastic cup. And we're going to go ahead and apply this third coat now. I'm pretty impressed after 3 hours. That thing is pretty dry and not tacky at all. It's about 74 degrees here in the shop today. So we're kind of almost in the middle of the ideal temperature again. You know, manufacturer recommends, you know, 70 to 80 degrees in the room when you're working with this product. All right. So now I'm just gonna spread this finish. Again, this is a third coat. A little mess right there. Again, you know, if you do make a mess a little bit, this you know, it does clean up you know, water. So it's water-based product. So easy cleanup with water. So now I'm just kind of smoothing out this finish a little bit here. And remember, we're not putting any heat on this. So if you get any bubbles, you just want to come back in with a straw and blow on the bubble, or use a toothpick. Okay, so what I'm going to do, that's a third coat. Yeah, that's a third coat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this on the dryer, and we'll see how this third coat does. Okay guys, it's been another 3 hours. It's dried hard, you can hear it, not tacky whatsoever. So what I'm going to do, I've done 3 coats, so I put just a little bit more here in a cup, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fourth and final cup, or excuse me, a fourth and final coat on this, just to make sure I achieve kind of the you know, the thickness of the finish that I'm looking for here. And so I'm just going to go ahead, start applying this. So again, just start down here at each corner. All right. What we'll do is let's go ahead and smooth this out. All right, just smoothing that out. All right there. Now, I'm just going to take my brush. All right. I'm just kind of laying this out a little bit, making sure I don't have any bubbles in there. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to get this fourth and final coat on the dryer. And then what I'm going to do is once I get this on the dryer and dry, I am going to go and let this cure for a full 72 hours. So I'm going to let it cure according to the label on the bottle for a full 72 hours. You know, after this dries, before I do anything else to it. So we'll be back in 72 hours. Hey guys, okay, so now that I've applied this master or thread master one coat finish, I've got about 4 complete coats on there, and I've let it dry. And I've gone well over the full cure time of 72 hours. Actually, I got a few more days on top of that. So this has actually been dried for about a week after the last coat that I put on, that 4th coat. And so now what I want to do is really try something, because some of the reviews for this product talked about, you know, again, remember, this is a 1 coat product. At least that's what they're saying, right? Not a 1 coat, but a 1 part product. So some of the comments, as you can see here from the reviews, is that, you know, it's a great product once it's dry. Take it out fishing, and then bam, it gets wet and it turns white. And then clears up once it's dry, and it gets wet and it turns white again. So I just want to see if that's going to happen. So I have a tray with some water and then just a clean brush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay some water on there and just kind of see, you know, what happens here. See if this, you know, if this water causes it to turn white, or if it softens up any. And then I have myself a tissue here, piece of shop towel. And so I just want to see if this is going to turn white. And it doesn't look like it is. Still hard. It's not getting soft. And so I'm not sure if somebody did something wrong when they applied it, or if the water just has to sit on for a long time. But I don't see it turning white. You know, the water's just beating up. The water's beating up. It's just regular tap water, so the water's beating up and then falling off, as you can see. Yeah, and even if I rub it with my fingernail where the water is, it's not soft. It's not tacky. So I think that was one of the other things they talked about. It was tacky. So I don't think it's tacky. Don't wipe it off with a cloth. Again, this is just a blue shop towel. And we're gonna go again. So just lay some water on here. Yeah, I don't see it turning white at all, and it's not softening up, and it's not getting tacky. Now, of course, you know, it's not like I'm fishing all day with this either, but I did want to try and see, you know, if I put some water on it, what it would do, if it would compromise the integrity of the finish, and kind of do what, you know, those reviews were saying. And of course, there's only 2 reviews for that product on Mudhole. So I don't know, you know, and that's the only 2 reviews. So I don't know if anybody else has had this problem. If you've had that problem of it turning white, if you've used this product before and you've had that problem of it turning white or softening up down there, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment block below. Let me know kind of what you ran into. So yeah, I mean, so it's not doing what the 2 reviews said that it would do, i.e. again, you know, turn white where the water comes in contact with it, softening up the finish. I don't see that happening. It is very dry. You know, it is a very hard product. And so I don't know. I don't know if somebody didn't let it dry completely. They said they did, but I don't know. So you just kind of have to make that decision for yourself if this is something that you're interested in using. Kind of a recap. So, you know, I used 4 coats. If I was actually building this on a rod, I probably, with this product, right, just with this product, Threadmaster 1 coat, or 1 part coat, I would probably have put 5 coats on. I tend to like just a little thicker, you know, coat of finish on my rods. Not super thick, just a little bit thicker, but I think I would have went with 1 more, although 4 completely covered the threads. But I will tell you, you know, the threads absorb it. Don't lay it on thick the first time, just lay it on enough to cover the threads, pull the excess off. This stuff dries hard within 3 hours. And that's when you can start reapplying other coats. So essentially, you know, if you were going to do 4 coats in 12 hours, you can have 4 coats on this, and then you just let it cure for 72 hours. So, you know, again, I think it's pretty interesting and I have a bottle of it, so I'm going to use it, and I'm going to put it on some bills and see what happens. But here on this wooden dowel with a regular nylon thread, a metallic thread, and an NCP thread, it went pretty well. But again, I think you're going to find yourself having to put more coats on there. But even with 4 coats, it is very level, very thin. It's not a bulky, finish. But I think I would have probably went with 5 on this. And again, you just apply it, take the excess off. It goes on white. It's very thick, very kind of milky. And then like I said, it dries within 3 hours. You get, 3 hours in between coat times, and then you have to let it dry completely for 72 hours for a complete cure. So, hey, I hope this helps on making an informed decision about the Threadmaster 1. Let me know what you think down in the comments block. Make sure you guys watch this next video here. And until next time, guys, take care.